Hey, it's Don, the Auction Professor here. Today we're going to give you another bolo, something else that I've known about since it started to be a fad, and that's Disney pins. Now, I worked for Disney World for 10 years in the early 90s, through around 2000. Pins were just coming out when we first started working there, and we could make a ton of extra money on the side, buying, getting, swapping, or getting promotional items from Disney for these pins. As we were leaving in my last few years there, it got to be a huge fad where they would actually have employees walking around with lanyards offering to trade these pins. Now, some of these pins can go for some insane amount of money. We're going to go look at some of those high dollar ones right now, and something you should always be looking for as well. So this is Disney pins. Some of these pins can go for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a piece. Title usually gives it away here. Disney WDI is Walt Disney Imagineering. We have friends that actually still work there. It's an aerial profile pin. The LE is for limited edition of 250 of these. Many times Disney would make these pins for specific people, specific functions, specific groups, and limit the quantity. That has drawn up the desirability of many of these items. Most of the high dollar ones obviously are scarcer ones to get, but if you don't know much about Disney or Disney pins in general, you're not going to know the difference at all. I would never ever sell a Disney pin unless I looked up every aspect of it I could. If it has a number on there, a quantity made, those are really the best ones you want to find. Let's go on to the next one. Next one here is an employee center. These are for employees specifically. Sidekick pin. It's got the main character as well as the sidekick. There's 200 sets of these made. This one went for $1,700. Now, I actually worked for Disney, as I said, for 10 plus years. We still have people that actually source these for us, even to this day. So this is something I've always looked for and still continue to look for, even in mass quantity. No matter where I'm at sourcing, I still look for these. These show up all over the place. Garage sales, flea markets, thrift stores, estate sales for sure, auctions even. So there's just so many sources to find these. Most people, again, won't think a thing about a tiny little metal pin like this. Again, they can go for thousands, as you see. We'll just flip through a few here so you can kind of get a gist on it. Now, the next one here is a large one. This is a limited edition of 100 for 101 Dalmatians anniversary. This is through DisneyAuctions.com. Disney does do auctions, if you didn't know that. They have done that for many years in the past. It's something that they continue to do in various forms as well. $1,724. Here's the same set again. This one went for $2,000 for this set. Again, it's 4 pins, $2,000, $500 a piece per pin. Here's another one, Walt Disney Imagineering, Sorcerer Mickey. Limited to 250. You can see the limited edition. They would all be sealed in plastic with a card backer like this when first issued. That is the state you want these. These would be mint, NOS basically on these. $1,255. Next one's a Wally pin, as you can see. Limited edition 300 Disney soda fountain. I would imagine this is probably from a restaurant or something along that line. Back when I worked there, Disney had them for most of the establishments. If it was a restaurant or a shop that people could buy collectibles or something like that, they had pins for that specific place. Something else just to market and to sell out. So again, $1,200 on this one here. Another good set here, Walt Disney Imagineering. This is Big Hero 6. It's a missed feature film that Disney did. It was actually pretty interesting. I liked it. It was different. It was unique. It was one of Disney's better ones in my book. $1,100 for this set. These show up individually as well, too, so don't just think you have to find the set. Individual ones will still sell for hundreds of dollars. Here's Disney Employee Center, just another set of these. Most of the best ones are ones that would have been limited to employees and things like that too, or limited to certain organizations or groups, as I said. $1,000, just over $1,000 for this set here. Next one here is Blue Centerette. This is Disney Auctions as well. And this is a prototype pin. This one went for $1,000 for this single pin. It has a certificate of authenticity from Disney Auctions as well. Disney made a fortune off of these pins, I'm telling you. This is one of Disney's best lucrative small dollar items that turn into a lot of money for them. I've run up on collections that had thousands of Disney pins in them. Next one's a Tinkerbell reading pin. There's limited to 100. This is one that's sought after. There's a ton that are sought after. This is, again, Disney Auctions. This is a little misconceiving because what Disney does is they make specific ones and then just auction them off. So again, these are made just to auction off, just to make money on them. They're nice pins, but again, I personally wouldn't pay $1,000, but I have no problem selling them for $1,000. It's just not my area, of course, but great items as you can see. Let's just show you a few more. Now this one here is an employee pin. This is a little different than the rest. This was made to give out to an employee who worked for Disney for 45 years. This is one of the hardest ones to get other than the 50-year and above because it meant you had to work at Disney for 50 years or 45 years in this case to earn the pin. Now I have a 10-year pin from when I worked there and that's the highest I could get just because I didn't work there for any longer, but these do go for about $1,000. Some of these are actually gold with rubies in them. The 5-year pin used to have a ruby in it. When I earned it, it didn't have the ruby anymore. It was already long gone. The earlier ones too are gold filled or gold, as I said on some of these. So let's move on to the next one here. Next one is Walt Disney Imagineering, another limited edition of 250. Hercules, it's a really nice pin, just like the rest of them. It's still mounted on the card and the whole works, $950. And the next one here is Disney Carousel, limited edition. This is a proof pin, limited to 100. And again, they did this for the auctions from what I personally feel. They list it as a limited edition test run or a prototype. They're making their money from the auctions when they auction these off. You can see it's going for $1,400. Next one here is another one of the large scale pins. Disney auctions as well. No card, just found random in the wild. Limited to 100 on these. It went for $1,295. Most all of them have this stamping on the back telling you the quantity and the whole works that's made of these. So you can kind of get the gist of them. But they're all like this. Disney auctions exclusive. They make them just to be auctioned off. It's just a mass-produced item, just in different designs and styles on these. Rather interesting either way. Something to look for, I can tell you 100%. Another one here, Hep Caps. Again, Disney auctions, $900, limited to 100. Now the next one here is a little different. This is Club 33. These are high-end visitors to the park system that spend a ton extra money to have a special park entrance, special options, special building to go to, and all these other aspects of it. And this is the one from Tokyo Disneyland. This person had 2 of these. They sold one, basically $900. They've got it framed. Chances are it was issued like this with the frame. Disney does that all the time. We got stills and prints and all kinds of material when we worked there as employees. And we did join some of the organizations and groups and did get free promos and things like that as well. A lot of these would have been sold to members of the club. They probably didn't get this for free. They probably still had to pay for it. And the last one, just another pin. This is limited to 300. The quantity made doesn't always necessarily mean it's worth more. Some of the ones that they only made 100 of may not be as much as some of the ones they made 500 for, just because of the character and the desirability, the design, the looks and feel of the exact pin we're talking about. So these all are legit sales. These sell like this all the time. Thousands of Disney pins go for some big mega bucks on these. It's something I have always looked for since the day one I knew that they existed while we worked at Disney. So for 10 years I bought the insider pins and swapped with people for the best pins we could get. We still get them from Disney, from friends who actually still work there, who we converse on Facebook and across other platforms. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. Well, there you go. There's another item you should be looking for. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.